All right, hello, all my Econ students out there. In today's lesson, what we are going to discuss are shortages and surpluses, and so let's get right down to it. Now, hopefully you are doing your bell ringer here and watching the video, because in this short video, there is a product, which is a hula hoop, and the price of a hula hoop changes dramatically based on supply and demand. And so I think it's a good kind of funny short video. It's from a movie called Hudsucker Proxy. Take a look at that and explain how the price is determined in this video. But our goal today is to really discuss what a shortage is and what a surplus is and why those two things exist. We'll also talk about price ceilings, minimum wage, price floor, target price, deficiency payments, and non-recourse loan. And so your first two terms are on this slide: a surplus, when the quantity supplied exceeds the quantity demanded at a given price. A shortage is when the quantity demanded exceeds or is greater than the quantity supplied at any given price. And so previously we learned about equilibrium. Equilibrium is where the supply curve and the demand curve intersect with each other. And that is like the perfect price. It's called the market clearing price, because the quantity that is supplied is also demanded. And so all that is supplied to a market is also demanded in a market. Now, when the price is not at equilibrium, what we get is either a surplus or a shortage. And so you see here that a high price creates a surplus for a product because the quantity supplied is greater than the quantity demanded. And so if I drew straight lines here at this high price down to where the quantity is, the quantity supplied would be greater than the quantity demanded. Now, the opposite of that is a shortage. A shortage is created when the price is too low for a product. And so in this case, the quantity demanded is greater than the quantity supplied. And so that creates a shortage. And these shortages and surpluses send signals in order for the market to adjust. And so we talked about the price system and how it kind of operates itself. These shortages and surpluses are a big part of that because it sends signals to consumers and also to producers to either produce more or less or to buy more or less of that product. And so one of our big goals today is going to be to determine whether it is a shortage or a surplus that exists at a certain price, and then how much of a shortage or a surplus. And so when we look at this first graph on the left, the one that says a surplus of 10, the question might be, what is the surplus or shortage when the price is 25? And so what you would do is you would go up here to where the price is 25, and you look across and you would find the quantity supplied and the quantity demanded. And so you go over to the quantity supplied. The quantity supplied is 11 when the price is 25. The quantity supplied is 11 when the price is 25. The quantity demanded is 1 when the price is 25. And so what you do is 11 minus 1. You do the quantity supplied minus the quantity demanded. And so that means 11 minus 1 is 10, and it's a positive number, so we have a surplus of 10. Now, a different question might be, what is the surplus or shortage when the price is $10? And so we're looking at graph B over here. When the price is $10, what we would do is find the quantity supplied. So when the price is $10, the quantity supplied is 3. And then we'd find the quantity demanded. When the price is $10, the quantity demanded is 10. So we do 3 minus 10 and get -7, or a surplus or a shortage of 7. A shortage of 7. And so you always want to do the quantity supplied minus the quantity demanded, because then you get a negative when it is a shortage and a positive number when it is a surplus. And so these shortages or surpluses, like I said, are really important to helping the price get to equilibrium. An artificial price requirement, or like a setting, would be price ceiling. And so what a price ceiling does is it sets a maximum legal price for a good or a service. And so it stops the price from going up to equilibrium. And so a maximum legal price that can be charged for a product. One goal that this helps us achieve is social equality and security. An example of this would be rent control in New York City. And so in order to control the price of rent in New York City to make sure that people are able to live there and afford to live there, there are some rent controls in place. And so let's see what this does, whether this creates a surplus or a shortage. So the green line here is this price ceiling. And so they set the price ceiling at $50. Well, let's find the quantity supplied at $50. That's 5. Let's find the quantity demanded at $50. That is 9. So 5 minus 9 is -4. And that means that a price ceiling should always create a shortage. And you could see that in rent control because there is a shortage of apartments. Also, you may want to think about, what if you are the owner of an apartment building and somebody stepping in, that somebody being the government, is stepping in and saying, no, you cannot charge the prices that the market is determining. You have to charge these artificially low prices. Well, if you're the owner of an apartment building, maybe you decide to change your apartments into offices, things that aren't rent controlled by the government. And so that could create even more of a shortage in places to live. So like I said here, price ceilings create a shortage. Rent would be more affordable for tenants, absolutely. And there would be a shortage of apartments. And so those are all the things that would happen here with a price ceiling. Remember, a price ceiling stops it from going up. It's a ceiling. It stops it from going up to equilibrium. Keeps the price artificially low. A price floor is the opposite. It's the lowest legal price that can be charged for a product. And so a price floor stops the price from going down. Now, not many examples of this, but one is minimum wage. And minimum wage sets the minimum salary allowable by law. And so it is setting the lowest legal price that can be paid for labor. And so if we look at this price floor here, see how it's stopping the price from going down to equilibrium. And so in this case, let's see if a shortage or a surplus exists. So at this price floor, looks like $125 about. Let's find the quantity supplied. It's $250 minus the quantity demanded, $150. And so this creates a positive 100. And so that's a surplus of 100. And so what we have is we have a surplus of labor. We have a surplus of people who would like to work but aren't able to work. And so price floor is the lowest legal price. Again, price floors create a surplus. Workers would achieve a higher wage, but there would be a surplus of workers without jobs. And so we have a trade-off there. Some examples of a price floor, and this is in agriculture. A lot of times they'll set a target price, a price set by the government that is used to help stabilize a particular market. And so the government may set a price of $4 for wheat. And so farmers are guaranteed to get $4. Remember, a price floor stops the price from going any lower. And so they're guaranteed that the price is at least going to be $4. Now, the way this works is the farmers would go ahead and harvest their wheat. The farmers would sell their wheat at the market price. But if the market price is less than $4, let's say it's $3, like it is in this case. If the market price is $3, where equilibrium is, the government would make a deficiency payment to farmers to make sure that they are at least getting that $4 amount. And so what they would do is they would send them $1 for every bushel of wheat that they sold in the market and they did not get $4 for. Now, ideally, the price is higher for farmers and they sell their wheat and they don't need a deficiency payment from the government. But that works as a price floor to ensure that they're at least allowed to get that amount. And then a non-recourse loan is a loan that is not required to be repaid as long as the farmers turn the crop over to the loan agency. And so this is a way that farmers can kind of grow a crop without a lot of risk. And so if something happens and they have a bad season and they don't get very much crop and they took out a loan in order to plant, um, a non-recourse loan would mean that they don't have to repay that loan, but they would have to forfeit or hand over whatever crop they did harvest. And so those are our slides today. What I would like to do is to take a look at our assignment. And so our assignment is here on Google Classroom, combining supply and demand. Now, it's something new for me. It's a CAMI assignment, and this should allow you to mark it up. And so if you go ahead and click the assignment, this is just instructions or directions for how to use CAMI. And so we have our assignment here, and what I'd like for you to do is to open with CAMI. Now, what CAMI does is allows you to mark things up. And so you can enter a text box, you can draw on it. And the drawing part is what intrigued me with this assignment. And so if I wanted to do a text box, I can just click up here where the name is and I can put my name in here. You can change the font size. You can change the color, whatever you guys want to do with that. You can play around with it. But the scenario on this is we're looking at the supply and demand for DVDs. And so one thing I want us to do is to graph some supply and demand curves here. Notice we have a price column, we have a quantity demanded column, and we have a quantity supplied column. And so I'd like for your supply and demand curves to be two different colors. And so I'm going to do red for demand and green for supply. And so if I go to drawing, I can select red. And then I want to graph these demand points and plot these demand points. And so when the price is 6, the quantity demanded is 0. So I'm going to make a dot right there. When the price is 5, the quantity demanded is 2. So I'm going to make a dot right there. You see I have my quantities down at the bottom. When the price is 4, the quantity demanded is 3. The price is 3, the quantity demanded is 4. All right, so you see how we'll do that. And then once you plot all your points, what I'd like for you to do is to go ahead and connect those and make a downward sloping demand curve. And it's always a good idea to label our curve. And so I'll put a D up there for demand. Now, to do supply, we have a price column and we have a quantity supplied column. And so when the price is 6, the quantity supplied is 9. So we'll have a 0.69 up here. When the price is 5, the quantity demanded is 6. Price is 5. When the price is 4, quantity supplied is 5. Price 4, quantity supplied 5. And then when the price is 3, the quantity demand or quantity supplied is 4. And so once you graph the rest of those points, draw a supply curve. Just imagine it goes like that. And so you can see that with our supply and our demand curve drawn, we should be able to find equilibrium. Equilibrium price would be 3. And so you can just write your answers in here if you want with your finger, or you can go back and do the text box. Put your answers in that way. But that's what I'd like for you to do with CAMI is to go ahead and work on this assignment and see if you can get it done today. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me. I hope everybody has a great day. See you soon.